What's up, everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Pyre today. I'm excited to get diving into this a little bit further because yesterday we could just barely, dip our toe in and see what this game was about, and got a sense as to what the visual novel aspect was about. But I think there's a lot more on the sort of sports aspect and on the RPG aspect. And I'm really excited to see how those things play out. And I love how previously, before we had made it further into the game, this title screen here did not have any music in it. You just heard the fire fizzling in the background. But now, I guess after having made it through the first mission in the campaign, that means that we've unlocked the music for the the title screen like this. So I'm excited to see what else we can uncover. Don't remember exactly where we left off. Let's see. The others are still picking themselves up as you awaken. Well, that was something. That was our way out. So now we just follow the stars, or what? Supposedly. Reader, come. Let us regard the night. Dodario leads you outside, where a clear night sky awaits. Now, show us before the howlers catch our scent. Where shall the rights? Okay, so we have seen this a little bit. I apologize for not having seen exactly when we saved, because it does appear to have an autosave feature, but I was admittedly not looking that closely at when exactly that last triggered, so I think we might have just missed it. A little bit of repeating here, but you'll see we're headed to Goal, the South Star. The South Star burns bright over a massive ridge of stone, much farther than the naked eye can see. Interact to determine the location of the next right. Looks like this is where we're headed. 200 leagues due east. The Ridge of Goal. Ridge of Goal, according to the stars, the next rite shall soon commence here. The fossil remains of the serpent titan slain by Golathanian, yet loom over those living here.
Concilia.
Great. We're supposed to be there when, exactly? Very soon, according to the stars. Should be able to arrive in time, if we make it. Then we had best get started. Well, this ought to be good for a few laughs at least. What do you say, Jody? Dodario turns to you, studying. Reader, do not deceive us. Pray we make good use of our remaining time. What she means is, glad to have you aboard, chum. Counting on you, my friend. See you inside. Freedom. The rights are the key. There's a lot to take in. Alright, they await us in the wagon, and this is, I believe, where we left off. So yeah, I'm excited to see what else Pyre has in store for us. Gotta love the visual style, too. Colors are so vibrant. They're popping all over the place. Look at that. It's so bright. Downside Prairie. You arrive in Downside Prairie. Have we read about it yet? One of the Downside's only verdant regions. Okay, so maybe this might be the only place that is this bright and lively. It only gets less hospitable as you press further north. Okay. So, you arrive in Downside Prairie, where the road ahead is forked. There's a lack of consensus about which way to proceed. Ooh, okay. Rookie, it's kind of different there. I'm telling you, we ought to take the northern pass. Got an associate holed up in Hollowroot. I've got to pay a visit to him besides. Hollowroot, the northern route to the Ridge of Goal, goes through a small exile encampment. Every so often, tempests come and scour away the huts and hovels. They always crop back up. Okay, so sounds like if we go this way, I mean, we're dealing with exiles. I guess we're technically exiles, so maybe that's not so notable. But also some harsh weather conditions that we might need to go through. Spy on your associate. Best we head to Blooming Pool and avoid attention. Blooming Pool, the southern route to the Ridge of Gold, goes through a humid area pocked with hot springs. Ooh, hot springs. Runoff from the sand folds mean no bathing in the springs, so they're just there to mock you. Okay, so maybe not so great after all. And get stuck in a bog while we're at it? The dispute continues as Edwin listens for a while. What if the reader settled this? He marks the way. Get us there. If these rites are meant to test our faith, then we best learn to trust the reader's instincts on our path. No second guessing him along the way. Can we all live with that for now? Yeah, sure. If necessary. Then it's settled. Just point the way, my friend. The stars guide us through you. Right. You may now choose a route toward your goal at certain junctures. Weigh the options. Okay, so yes, there are different decisions that we make at various points of the campaign that supposedly will affect the outcome of what happens story-wise or potentially even gameplay-wise, so I'm not sure just how impactful those decisions are, but we may have our first shot at seeing what this has in store for us. Okay. We see the two routes. The hollow route, the northern route, goes to Ridge Gold through small exile encampment. Rookie knows someone here who owes him. Okay, so these are very similar descriptions to what we read before. Dario thinks she can find rare flora here. That does sound new. I don't remember her saying that. Okay. So, I mean, the most notable thing that I'm seeing is that each route is tied to a specific character. So I think maybe we ought to make this decision based less on the other information that we're seeing and more so on the characters. So, you know, do we see ourselves siding a little more with Rookie, or do we see ourselves siding a little more with Jodario? And granted, I mean, she is quite intimidating, so she seems like the kind of person that we don't really want to get on her bad side, so maybe siding with her might be a good idea. On the other hand, Rookie does seem a lot easier to get along with, and just kind of fun, lighthearted character, and so maybe the type of person that we'd want to spend more time with to, you know, experience that a little more. So yeah, I'm not sure. Let's go with Jodario. Because I think my first instinct is to go with Rookie, and my guess is that we'll end up doing that a lot. So I'm going to force myself to go with Jodario a little bit here, and I don't know, it looks like we may have gotten a little unlucky here. Maybe we chose wrong. Jodario offers to show you around Blooming Pool after she notices you staring at the bogs and vegetation near the wagon. Soon, something catches her eye. Okay, it looks like something was not going so well with the wagon there, so I was a little concerned. Observe. This shall pay for half the trip. You found a black bloom. It is quite valuable. Trade item. Value 30 coins of some variety. This can be sold at the slug market. Oh, well, that's pleasant. Blossoms at specific times. While bitter at first, a taste of the black bloom makes the pain go away. Interesting. Okay, so I didn't even realize that we were going to get items, but I guess that's part of where those RPG mechanics that we were talking a little bit about before start to come in. The Black Wagon grinds to a stop at the base of the Ridge of Gold. The others ask you to assist with making preparations for nightfall and the commencement of the rite. Page revealed. First exile. Okay. Black Wagon, your roving makeshift home in the downside. Interact or press C anywhere to check inside. Okay, so I don't know if it's only at these predetermined times in the story that we can go back to our wagon, or maybe we can do this whenever, but let's take a look back inside. Okay, so we see Jodario. Okay, so we can speak to her. Reader, Greentail here was just complaining how you opted not to take us up Hollywood. And yes, so this is what I anticipated here. So Rookie, that's Greentail. I guess we'll go back and forth between referring to them by their first and last names and so on and so forth. But okay. And yes, he's not so pleased with us. Understandable. What? And violate our anti-second guessing pact? Nah, I was only saying. How's our chums gonna have to keep on making the tough calls? Besides, just making sure we got something to pawn off at the next slug market we find. So let's find out what these slug markets are all about. Crude trading post found in the downside. Commonwealth contraband sometimes finds its way to the downside, where it's traded and sold. Okay, so sounds like, not so surprisingly, that's going to be our typical shop. And we have. Now let us focus on the task at hand. We've reached our destination and have much left to prepare before tonight. Two of them so soon go about rummaging through the raiments and the books strewn about the wagon, leaving you to your own devices. Okay. So I'm guessing all these little sparkly things are the various things that we can interact with. Also, what is... Thrive Imp. Creatures such as this must have been bred to push the black wagon along. Interesting. Okay, just wondering if anything happens if we press it enough. Okay. Old raiments. Colorful robes and ceremonial masks adorn one of the wagon's walls. What do we have here? Greentail family portrait. Okay, so this presumably belongs to Rookie. Rookie's status nearby. Reasonable likeness of a younger Rookie, his mother and uncle. Okay, so I mean it's Rookie's item clearly, but it's interesting how it says Rookie's status nearby underneath, which makes me think it's almost like we're sneaking through the wagon and wondering whether or not we can take a quick look at Rookie's items, and the fact that he's nearby implies that, well, maybe there's some risks there and that he might catch us in the act. So let's see what else we have here. I'm curious if there might be more things that belong to other characters of a similar sort. Edwin's cooking tins. What passes for cooking supplies in the downside. Edwin does most of the cooking. Edwin's status resting up for tonight. Okay. So like here, if we decided that we wanted to poke around in someone's stuff, then maybe this is a better option since he's not nearby. Or I don't even know if we can click on this. Let's see. What's this? Another drive-in? I wonder if there's like, maybe there's some achievement or something for finding all of them. Seems like that type of thing. What about Chiodario? In the Book of Rights, of course. I'm guessing that's sort of the thing that spurs the next components, like the next right, presumably, in the actual story. So I'm looking for Chiodario stuff, though. Does she not have anything? Or are these old raiments technically hers? It doesn't look like it. Okay, so we can click on it, but it doesn't look like anything happens. So, false alarm. Who knows? Alright, the first exile. In the words of Golothanian, the Master General. Okay, so I remember, it's a little hard to read this text, so I'm going to use this to make it a little easier on myself. You know, perhaps, the thrice-cursed name of Solium Mur. Probably Mur. The Emperor of Sar. First exile, my liege. This chapter concerns him, those who found him in the downside. Each of us was sent to take his life. Such was the hatred for him, in and around his country. Yet, we found in Solium Mur a man transformed in body, mind, and spirit. A man deserving of much more than mercy. In time, he named us all his scribes, became the eighth. It is my greatest honor now to share with you his deeds. To know his story is to know the right. Interesting. Okay. So it seems like the person who wrote the rights, or is sort of the inspiration for the rights, is the original exile. And that these scribes have banded around this person to, well, transcribe everything. Oh, I didn't see this before. Attic ladder, the way up to the wagon's imp drive centrifuge. Only imps could fit up there. Can I try? You observe the ladder leading to the locked enclosure above the cabinet. Wagon's centrifuge must be up there. Strive imps stare down at you with big, wet eyes. Love that music. Okay, it looks like we may be done here. And that it may be time to commence the rite. Alright, so you've reached the celestial landmark. Now, to get everything and everyone prepared. Yeah, so it seems like at certain stages, like each time we reach one of these key points, we're gonna do one of these rites. As opposed to just random occurrences. As darkness falls, your fellow exiles stand together, clad in the raiments of the rites. Preparations are set. However, everything is still and calm. Soon, grow restless. Keep telling you there's nothing here. What a bunch of idiots we are. We traveled all this way for nothing. I don't think we did. Look up. The goal of each rite is to extinguish the adversary's pyre using the celestial orb that falls from the sky.
The stars align at last. You reach the Ridge of Gold at the appointed time, and your triumvirate is ready. Your adversaries in the rites this eve shall be the accusers.
Ooh.
Whosever pyre yet burns once the other is extinguished shall step closer to freedom.
Alright.
Now
First question.
the rites
Do I remember the controls? We shall see. Alright. Ooh, so it looks like they're all this medium-sized characters, like medium-sized character, like Edwin. So when we did the previous rite, we had basically an even match where we had our small character, Ruki, our medium character, Edwin, and Jodariel, our big, slow character, and our enemies had exactly the same pairing, kind of like a twin of our team. And so I guess when we're going through these rites, we might find some very different teams to go against with some different matchup opportunities and vulnerabilities, so we may need to adjust our strategy rite by rite. Let's see what we have this time. The stars are aligned, and your pyre burns bright. Across from your companions appear several others, also clad in raiments. Your adversaries in the rites. Everyone ready? Let's hope so. Be still. We have a visitor. The one whom she refers to steps forward. At last, the Nightwings grace us with their presence. Nightwing, the name of a triumvirate in blue. It seems your fellow exiles have assumed their identity. Are we the Nightwings? I see that the reports of your demise have been exaggerated after all. Even I was beginning to think you were gone for good. Nobody moves, save for the man robed in gold, who unfastens his mask. Surprised to see old Lendl again? I trust you remember my face, though you must have assumed never to see it again after the last time. Lendl. He is the apparent leader of the Exile Triumvirate you encountered at the Ridge of Gold, okay? But it seems as though there's some history there between Lendl and at least one of our party members, if not more. Never had I come so close to freedom, only for you to dash my hopes. Ooh, okay, he's not happy with us for that, understandably. Now, I and the accusers shall repay that affront. Accusers are an exile triumvirate clad in gold. Their leader harbors ill will for something he thinks you did. Okay. Something he thinks we did, so maybe it's all just a little bit of a misunderstanding here, and we can all just be friends. Something tells me that isn't going to happen, at least not immediately. He shoves his mask back on and takes position with his comrades. It is time. From the shadows, you clutch the Book of Rites and focus on the task at hand. Okay. Again with that whole chances that I remember the controls. We're about to find out. What is jump? It is not that. I can tell you that much. There we go. Okay, so now we're down Rookie for a little bit here.
Another banishment.
I'm gonna deliberately try to... Oh. I was deliberately trying to wait. Take him out. Oh, do I need to hold the right click to actually get rid of you?
I thought they had you there.
Okay, please take it. Thank you. Oh. Oh, you can take out my character who doesn't have it? That's kind of interesting. I would not have anticipated that. Okay, yeah, that was expected. Oh, okay. So we actually have a time period in which we have no one. That's interesting. I did not realize that was possible. Let's take a run for it. No! I shall not accept defeat from you again. Hear me, accusers. Stand your ground. Let your auras boil and rage. Okay, so admittedly, I don't remember what the jump button is, which is presumably going to be very helpful if they're just kind of standing camping with Pyre. Sounds like they might do that. We have rattled them. They mean to draw us out. Okay. So maybe a little bit of messing with our heads here, where they're just waiting for us to over-pursue, and then they'll counterattack. Interesting. Then we'll just have to run more circles around them. Like the way you're thinking.
Have you any idea what that Lendl did to deserve his exile?
Ah, but they caught it. Okay. Nope. I'll take it though. Okay. Oh. Beat you to it. Take that. Oh. Quick break for it. Yeah, so Edwin gets 20 points, whereas Rookie gets 15 every time he finishes. So Rookie is not worth quite as much. Ooh.
Such chaos.
1 for 1. Ooh, Jodariel is so slow! Aha, missed. Oh, I missed! I tried to cut the corner too much. Oh, that presumably blocks you. Okay. We're learning here. We're learning. Uh-oh. Pass it. I do really like Rookie. I love how mobile he is. Which I'm sure is probably just me not totally understanding the best strategies as a new character, a new player. Oh, that didn't hit you? I'm surprised. Uh-oh. Oh, I thought I could speed through. I could not. Okay, so I have to admit, it's a little surprising to me that there isn't a cooldown for that attack. Because it seems like you could just spam it, and it would be quite effective. Oh! Okay, again, thought I could be quick. I'm not 100% sure that I'm actually doing what the game technically wants me to do at the moment, given how I'm not clicking it directly. Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Pass it! Pass it! No, there's no one to pass it to! All my teammates are gone!
The orb has left your clutches.
So we need to kill some time here. Or win. I was gonna say, because it looked like Rookie was out infinitely, it said there, which I did not realize was possible.
Then in your single fleeting victory.
Maybe that's because we kept on using him to score, so the game was kind of like, not so fast here. But that was fun. Your deceit may have earned you a hollow victory. Know this. The accusers will not forget your wickedness when we meet next. Meet next meet, you know what I mean.
The wisdom of the scribes.
Ah, okay.
The exile Jodariel has gained enlightenment.
Interesting.
Only the enlightened can regain their freedom.
Ah, okay. We have withstood worse nights than this, though few and strange. Choose a mastery for Jodariel. Interesting. Okay, so here comes the RPG mechanics where we can level up some skills and make our characters a little better. So let's see. Long stride. After using her rush to lunge forward, Jodariel can rush again right away. So like a sprint. Yeah, her sprint basically. She can do twice in a row. So that's one thing that was noticeable was not only is Jodariel slower, but she has kind of less stamina when she does her sprint. So when you use her sprint, she used all of it. So even if you press the spacebar quickly and do a quick dash, you're done. You gotta wait to respawn. Whereas for the other ones like Rookie or even Hedwyn, if you press it quickly, you can do just a quick little burst and you still have a little bit of gas left in the tank to do another round. So this could be meaningful if we can actually have a second burst in quick succession. So that's appealing for sure. And it looks like, I'm guessing that if you take this, then you can start to go further down this way. If you take this, you can go further down this way. I'm not sure if it locks you into going one side instead of the other. So this might be the speed and maneuverability side. Let's see. When landing from a jump, Jodariel briefly stuns nearby adversaries, making them drop the orb. That also sounds really good. Alright, W is the jump button. Thank you for the reminder. And then Brazen Mana for 7 seconds after saluting her adversaries. I don't even know what saluting means, if that's like an actual thing that you press in order to... Yeah, okay, apparently T to salute during a rite. I don't think we technically learned that one yet, but... Jodariel deals an additional 10 damage to the Pyre. Huh. That's interesting. So it's almost like an alternative way of scoring. And then here, Jodariel can banish adversaries by flinging the orb into them. Huh. So using the orb offensively. Yeah, so there's some very interesting things on this side here. Let's see what we have on this side. After banishing an adversary, Jodariel instantly recovers all her stamina. That also... I mean, both of these things sound really good. Especially if you can do both of them. I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure if once you take the right side, it locks you into the right side and you can't do anything on the left. Because both of these together, I would think, would give you a ton of maneuverability on her when she is normally a very slow character that's hard to move around with. So that's intriguing as well. Let's see what other things we have on this side to see if it's as interesting as it goes down. Jodariel permanently gains 4 presence, raising the size of her aura. Jodariel cannot gain this mastery yet. Yeah, so she has the biggest aura by far. So this seems like a little bit more of a passive, defensive type of characteristic. So maybe this is kind of like offensive, defensive. Let's see. What else do we have? The start of the right Jodariel Pyre automatically gains 35 life, essentially. Yeah, I'm getting the defensive vibe. And then here, any adversaries banished by Jodariel take 30% longer than usual to return. Yeah, okay, so I think that's kind of the way it works, is these are more offensive in nature on the left side, and these are more defensively natured on the right side. So Jodariel is big and slow, but potentially... I mean, that makes me think that she's probably best as a defensive character, but she is also worth the most points if you can get her to score. So, if you can pull that off, then it's kind of a high-risk, high-reward thing, I would think. And I don't know which is the best route to take. I think maybe this feels like the safe route, but at the same time, I think, knowing me, I'm probably going to want to go offensively with Rookie, and therefore it may make sense for balance reasons to have a well-composed team with good chemistry to make Jodariel better defensively. I'm just a little worried that we might be kind of... If we do that, we're playing even more into my tendencies, and that may be hard to buck that trend afterward, but let's see. Enlightenment 1. Okay, oh, so this is kind of like the experience bar, it looks like. So Enlightenment 1's progress toward a deeper understanding. Current Enlightenment 600, needed for next rank 400. Ah, okay, so he starts at rank 1. And then only once he makes it to rank 2 can we upgrade, and okay. So it only goes up to 5, which, if we could go back to Jodariel, which I don't think we can, but that would lead me to believe that, yes, you will only ultimately have 4 points, in which case, in all likelihood, you're probably only upgrading things on one side of that tree there. Oh, and interesting. I didn't realize we had these stats here, too. Okay, this is really helpful. So yeah, as I was noticing before, each character has a different amount of damage that they deal to the Pyre, and the lowest is Rookie, understandably, because he's the little quick guy, so he's probably the easiest to get there, just is worth the least, if you do pull it off. But he's, as we see here, quite quick. Presence, and this is the size of his aura, which is, again, small. And Hope. Attribute affects the duration of banishment. Interesting. Yeah, so I think I didn't notice this as much, but similarly, it seems like Jodariel might take the longest to respawn, followed by Edwin, followed by Rookie. I like that. That's an interesting balance dynamic there, where each character has its own characteristics. I'm assuming Edwin didn't level up either. After the rites, the accusers disappear into the darkness. As you return to the wagon in the still night sky, you see a single star burns brighter than the rest, beckoning you onward. Yeah, so this is the thing that we were supposed to do. We were supposed to fling the orb last time, but oops. Well, my friends, what can I say? The rights are real, and we're in. The Getting Out of Here Club. Next up on the agenda, keep chasing stars until we're free. Till we are free. Till we're free. Here, sounds fine. Might as well be us instead of Lendl back there. Anyway, guess we better start packing. As the others go about their business, Edwin turns to you. Reader, come walk with me while the stars are still out. You and Edwin walk in silence for a time before he speaks up. You have questions. Come, ask away. We need you in on this for the long haul. Edwin wishes to know if anything is troubling you. Okay, interesting. Ask why he was exiled. That's a little personal. Everyone has their reasons at this point. You'd like to know his. Yeah, I mean, if this were Jodariel, I would assume that's probably strictly let's not go there topic, but Edwin seems pretty open with us and might be willing to share that information, ask how he got this wagon. It does seem like he's sort of the leader, even though Jodariel is kind of the big, intimidating character. It seems as though he's kind of the one who keeps everyone organized, and apparently the wagon is his. Black Wagon and its contest belonged to a group called the Nightwings. What happened? Okay, so the Nightwings were the group that our previous enemy was, or opponent, I should say. They're not strictly enemies, I suppose. At least, maybe not. But, our previous opponent was referring to the Nightwings and seemed to assume that we were the Nightwings, even though that may not actually be the case, and we may have stolen this thing from the Nightwings, okay? Otherwise, we could say, ask what you cannot or why you cannot conduct the rites yourself. You led your fellow exiles to the rites, yet they've not asked you to participate firsthand. Why? could ask that. Otherwise, ask what happens if you refuse to help. You're beginning to get the impression that your participation is not optional. I'm getting that impression as well, but I don't think that's a great question to ask, because might turn a few heads. So, I think... let's start here. Let's try to get a little more information on Edwin, because it seems like he can be our kind of inside guy here into the group, and might be our best way to learn more about our other comrades, our other companions. You ask Edwin what he did to get sentenced to living in the downside. He maintains eye contact and his smile. Good question, my friend. We're going to have a lot of time to discuss that, and many other things. Make you a deal. Read the stars for us again, and I'll tell you all about it on the way. You sense he speaks truly as he beckons toward the fading dark above. Gaze at the stars. Okay, so we did, unfortunately, only get the chance to ask one question, but it seems like, you know, I could stand by that one. I think that was a good choice. Hopefully we get to learn a little bit more about all their backstories, particularly Edwin. Okay. We are... no, that's where we started, right? And this is where we are right now, and presumably this is where we're headed next. Jomur, the Dusk Star. The Dusk Star burns bright over an ancient spring in Jomur Valley. Ooh. It's like a ice scorpion. That's a long way north and west. Let's see if this old wagon's fit for it. Then he turns to the others. How's it going, rookie? Imps fed, wheels clean. Status, Jody? No sign of howlers. Everything is secure. Good. Then get some rest. We're headed to the spring of Jomur. At dawn, we're off. So what is the spring? According to the stars, the next rite will soon commence here, and the Alpha Chief hoped bathing here would cure his ailments, but it only made him itch. Ew, okay, that's a little unpleasant. Let's try to remember, especially since we went in the direction of the springs during our previous, or on the way to our previous rite, let's try to remember that that's definitely not what we should do this time. Alright. I'm guessing that that was a saving sign that I saw in the top right corner there. I think I did. So, this seems like a good place to wrap things up for this round. So, yeah, I think Pyre, we're starting to get a better sense as to what the gameplay mechanics are really like here. I like how we got a much better taste for what those rites can be like. And, well, technically that one that we just did might have still been a little bit in the tutorial territory. Felt a little bit more like what we might see going forward, and starting to get a better sense as to how the various characters play and what different strategies might be to approach against different types of enemies. So I'm looking forward to the next one. Hope you all enjoyed it, and let me know in the comments below. Actually, I have a question for you. If you have played Pyre before, let me know if you have tried it with a controller and with a keyboard, and if so, which one that you prefer to use, because I might try testing it out with a controller. I've been using keyboard and mouse thus far. So either way, I'll see you all next time. So